What up, good people? Anyway, we're gonna do this off the phone. A little bit late behind the clock. Tried to go live from the laptop, but I got the stream key, but it wasn't streaming live to Facebook, so it was a whole lot going on. Gonna have to get at Tim, see what's happening. No, he went live with the fight on Saturday on Twitch, so I'm not sure what that's all about. But anyway, we rocking, we rolling. One half of the GrayScale podcast in full effect. It's your boy Ray. Shout out to everybody that's gonna be joining tonight, tuning in. We're gonna talk about something that I was chopping it up with my boy JR on the way to last week's podcast. If you don't remember, JR was special guest on the show last week, where Tim did debut his response track to a diss made about him and his boy Steve. And then we talked a little bit of music and entertainment with JR and what he had going on. Anyway, last week's show was good, but like I said, on the way to the show, me and JR were having some interesting conversations, and we were talking about levels to life, levels to family, friends, and just the way the world is set up in terms of placing people and having caste and caste systems. It's funny to say caste systems in America. Caste system is really just a class system. You can say class system. Wikipedia and all these other places would have you believe that caste systems and class systems were started in India as a way of dividing, upper echelon groups and lower echelon groups and those in between. In America, the country we live in prides itself on not having a caste system, aka class system, because anybody can be anything that they want to be, as long as they're willing to do what it takes. And for the most part, that's true. You know what I'm saying? You can achieve great things in this country and climb to the highest of heights. But obviously, like with anything, and I believe in any country, there's a ceiling, depending on where you come from, for everyone. And in order to get through that ceiling, there's definitely some gatekeepers that are going to put you to the test. And you're going to have to be willing to do some things, which do some things is usually in the form of sacrifice. Sacrifice some things in order to get where you want to be in life. And I think it's, we were talking about it, and we brought up when people talk about the Illuminati and these secret societies, especially when we in the entertainment world, and people that have achieved great things, that they've all had to do something to compromise their integrity or their soul or whatever. And in some regards you could say, oh yeah, that's true, to me anyway, because I think you do have to do things to show how bad you want something. And certain levels in life require greater sacrifices than other levels in life. And understanding that at every level in life, there are gatekeepers that had to go through these trials and tribulations in order to get to their level in life. So, and not all gatekeepers are good, but they're supposed to be able to properly judge those and properly test those that are trying to walk within the realms that they're walking in. So these gatekeepers are usually usually supposed to be people of high integrity and knowledge of the realm in which they control. And that's how it works, and whatever the test may be, rest assured that these gatekeepers have passed those tests, and it is their job to maintain the integrity of the realm. And it's, don't want to sound far out, like we talking about different galaxies. So when I say realm, I'm just talking about, different ways of living, different lifestyles. So, you know, to me, the ghetto is around. Middle class is around. Upper middle class is around. Rich is around. And then wealthy is a whole nother realm. And within these realms, people have figured out how they have to live and survive and thrive. So at every level and in every realm, you have caste systems. You have people in certain class levels. So you take your poor class, and the poor class has a ghetto fabulous class, a ghetto rich class. You understand what I'm saying? And they have a ghetto middle class and then your ghetto poor class. Go to the middle class, you have a rich middle class, which they call upper middle class, I guess. And then you have your middle class and your on the fringe, so-called middle class. You know what I'm saying? And so on and so forth. But within these realms, there's a certain way of living that one must abide by in order to grow in these realms. And it's a big reason why, you know, somebody like Trump, you know, who has the money, the popularity and things like this, is getting booted out of the realm of presidency. Because when in Rome, he's not doing as the Romans. He's doing as the Americans. You know what I'm saying? So he's not respecting the rules of the realm, which is what a lot of people begged for and were looking for, like someone to disrupt the realm of politics, so to speak. But with that being said, you know, I was talking to my man and just talking about how even within the family structure, and, you know, it's interesting because my boy Edwin, again, go check out Edwin, man, Walking with Purpose every morning. I know he doesn't accept everybody's friend request, but if you're friends with me on here and you're watching this, you know, and you're friends with Edwin, check out that Walking with Purpose. But anyway, the other day he was talking about how, you know, and in his family, especially, you know, it not being his natural born family, which can add another stipulation when you have different pieces coming in, and then also his extended family through marriage, like how he, you know, as he's trying to grow as an individual, how he, you know, sees himself fitting in with this family's system and its caste, so to speak. And, you know, how does he, as someone trying to grow himself, rise up, or, you know, just speaking his mind and is looked at as a person of, you know, high class in his caste. But anyway, that also got me to thinking and talking to my man Jay about how even within your own family structure, especially if you're in a large family, how, you know, there's a class within your family. Now, back in the olden days, I'm getting old, or, you know, pre-biblical days or whatever you want to call it, you know, the chiefs in African villages and these empires and places like that, you know, they were chosen through trials. And these trials still go on today. Like in every realm, the children are still tried. I mean, just, it might sound crazy, but everybody needs to think about their life like it's basically a military exercise. You know, the projects to me were, you know, you were still being monitored. Your schoolwork, the way you react to this, do that. And then the people within the society that you lived in were testing you for certain things. So, for example, you grew up in the projects, and, you know, the projects was rough and rugged. You know what I'm saying? Like, you would get tested on, like, would you fight or flight? You know what I'm saying? You know, if someone's going down with this person, did you have people's back, or were you kind of just, you know, really a test to see what spirit transferred into that seed? How's that seed going? Whose spirit is inheriting this new body, right? So just like in the old days, like the chiefs and kings were chosen through trials of skill, courage, wisdom, and that's why the elders usually were. I mean, they usually got picked because the older you get, the wiser you get. You know what I'm saying? Where here in America, they've kind of dumbed us down and they make you think at 21 you've reached your peak, and it's just not true. But anyway, even within those family structures, children are being tested, especially in the larger family structures, to see where you fit in. And sometimes in those casts, people get cast out. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you don't necessarily fit the mold of that realm, and don't there's not the potential seen for you to really rise within that realm or survive within that realm. Sometimes people get cast out. Sometimes the casting out is a good thing, and sometimes not. But I should have prefaced this conversation by saying that I don't think having a caste system, class system, is necessarily a bad or negative thing. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like the natural order of things in terms of how people deal with the world and cope with things. Because not everybody's meant to lead. Not everybody's born to do that, or born to be a fighter, or born to do this or born to do that. Like, those things have to be tested, and you have to be put through trials to determine what spirit has entered in someone, in order for them to be placed in the right position. So you can't, and that's where we got in trouble at, where those trials stopped taking place, and people just started being born into royalty. So if your daddy was the king without any test, trials, test of courage, then you were just next in line to be the king. And we got into this whole screwed up thing to where we are now, and people killing off the wives in order to get their turn on the throne, just because they were next in line, as opposed to somebody being chose through trials out of the village to be king amongst the people. You know what I'm saying? Because the kings really are supposed to work for the people. So it's not a bad thing to have those type of trials in order to pick the caste and class, because then you want to protect that class, so that you want to follow that spirit, so that when that person passes, that DNA strand that was left, you know what I'm saying, you want that spirit to still kind of be around in that realm, to help keep that strand of DNA elevated within the realm. That probably sounds crazy to some of you. But again, not saying that a caste system is necessarily a bad thing, but Meek and those boys are speaking nothing but truth when they say that there's levels to this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's real levels. And it's crazy, because talking to Jay, I was like, us growing up in our day playing video games like Mega Man, like, we didn't think about it like you leveling up in the game. You know what I'm saying? And the more you level up, the stronger you get. Ultra Beast was one of my favorite games on Sega. And every time you beat something up or kill one of those goblins, those little ball things would be flying around. And you get them, and you level up a little bit, get a little bit bigger, get a little bit swollen, until you turn into a beast. And it's a little different in this day. You got your Fortnite and stuff like that, where the kids level up, and they're on the level 100 or whatever the hell. So life has those levels, you know what I'm saying? And only those willing to take those tests and face their toughest fears are going to be able to level up to the highest potential that they have, and or live the most enjoyable life that they can live. And really, it's about training yourself to be able to be okay or get over losing anything that you love, because we all gonna die. You know what I'm saying? Big believe in a big reason why in that word I said I believe it. God tells Abraham to take his son up to the mountain, and just before he was ready to kill him, stopped him just to see that, hey, I know you love this son more than anything in the world. And I see that you was about to go through with this act, but you good now. I trust you. You ready for the next level. I'll give you all this land and bless all your descendants. You got that faith. So, and some people not, and that's okay. You can be a master on a level that's not necessarily your highest potential, but understand that people that is their highest potential. So you got to understand this part too. Like, people that know that their highest potential is on the level that you're at, but they know that your potential is above theirs, they going to do whatever they got to do to protect themselves on a mastery level in a realm, and make it difficult on your ass who should be up here somewhere. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta, again, none of it's gonna be easy. So whether you level up all the way to the max, or you teetering on levels below you, but somebody that is maxed out on the level that you could go above, hey, it's gonna be hell in the cell, Jack. Dog eat dog, you know what I'm saying? So definitely levels to this shit, man. And really, to say all that is to say, which is something I'm learning, be firm in your beliefs. Find some standards, have some standards, and kind of just, really stick with them. And it's, as I'm learning, really gonna be the only way to determine what realm you truly belong in, and can really vibe and thrive in. Vibe and thrive. You see, I just mixed those words up. Vibe and thrive in, and be who you supposed to be, or who you want to be. And not everything's for everybody. Trying to please everybody is gonna, get you nothing but misery. But understand, especially, I think about these things, and think about generations coming up after me, nieces and nephews of all walks of life, and understanding that they were, they going through the same tests that I went through. Some of them not the same, but similar. And just hope that they watch some of these, and start really opening their eyes to their surroundings and what's going on around them, leveling themselves up. And really, it was one of the reasons why, even though I've grown to feel the way that I feel about certain things in life and holidays and stuff like that, like, I feel it's important, or felt it was important, for my kids to really go through the same type of trials, to find themselves, as I'm finding myself, and not be shortcut, or deprived of anything just because of the way that I've grown up to feel about things. I've got to put that to the side when it comes to them, and let them have the ability to test these waters, and experience the things as I experienced them, because then they may have a different outcome, because their upbringing isn't the same as mine. So they may have a different perspective on things, but could also, share and learn from my experiences. So anyway, that's my take on Caste and Caste system, and these levels, and really just I see, cuz real talk, we need to get together to reminisce. Yeah, we definitely do, cuz I need to bring you on one of these lives, Jason, and really just talk about it. I be deep in thought, really analyzing life, and taking those thoughts and using them as fuel, as opposed to getting too far down in the dumps and depressed, and sagging off in life, because that's not gonna help anybody. God takes his most what do you call it? I don't want to say disturbed, but some of those that have committed the worst acts and turned them into his greatest instruments of peace. So and saying that, it was funny because I was on a job today and I actually had to use that because that was something that took place, and a woman comes in and is talking to this girl that's now working, and she's like, an older woman talking to the younger woman who's the clerk, and she's like, you know what, you remind me of somebody, you look like somebody. And she's like, you got a mother around here or something, and da 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 da. And, just steady going on and on while the girl's at work, right? And I kind of knew what she was going to say because I kind of had the same thoughts before, but it's nothing that I would speak on to somebody in public. You pull somebody to the side and say something like this, but she's like, it was a girl walking up and down 98 prostituting, and you look just like her. And I'm like, wow. Like, people really ugly out here like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's crazy. Like, why would you say, like, try to put somebody on the spot like this? Like, whether it is her or not, you know what I'm saying? Like, what is your purpose of saying something like that? But again, class systems, self-hate. I'm reading this book called the Destruction of Black Civilization, and it talks about, the self-hate between black tribes, and how Africa was able to be taken over and enslaved, and how they sold off other blacks into slavery, and not because slavery in Africa was different than slavery in the Western world. You know what I'm saying? Like, slaves in Africa could get sold off into slavery and become a part of the community that they were sold off to, and become part of the government. I guess you can say that nowadays we can do that here too. But it was crazy to think about, like, the mentality that goes behind ugly people in the world like that, to go off and say something like that. And here's somebody that true or not, even if it is that person that was walking up and down the street or not, like, you should be commending somebody for getting off the streets and actually getting out here and getting some honest work. Although prostitution was the first form of work, so but anyway, that's a whole nother story. But it's just the angles people go with. I mean, it blows your mind. But one thing I'll say to that is, we can't run from our past, and we definitely can't change it. But when you out here improving, never be afraid of your past. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's your fuel. And just like Jesus with the prostitute in the Bible, you know what I'm saying, and clearing her wrongdoings. I'm like, you can't be out here judging people like that. You know what I'm saying? Let he without the sin cast the first stone. Like, people crazy, man. But anyway, that's my revelations for the night, man. Y'all stay blessed up, stay woke out here. Pay attention to your surroundings. Be nice, but don't be too gullible. I'm guilty of that as well sometimes. It's a lot of people out here faking the funk, man. And sometimes it's the people that's the nicest to you trying to do you the dirtiest. So, just keep your smile on, but your guard up. You dig? And level up. You can rise up. You dig? So that's my revelations for the night. None but peace and love to y'all. We'll chop it up on the next one. GrayScale going black.